There's a university where you can experience everything, from the stockyards to the stock exchange, from the Lone Star State to the global stage, where some of the happiest students in the nation embrace tradition, engage with excellence, and elevate the future. Only here. Share a class with 25, a stadium with 50,000, and a mascot with none. Where discovery meets community, integrity meets innovation, and Horned Frogs lead on for life. Only here, TCU.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Good evening.
Future Frogs. Thank you for joining us this evening. There are hundreds of us gathered here for Real Talk with my friend Craig Allen. I am Mandy Castro. I serve TCU as the Assistant Vice Provost and Dean of Admission, and you have a lively hour ahead of you learning all about things having to do with our students living on campus. First, I'd like to introduce my colleague to introduce himself.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Wherever you're tuning in from tonight, my name is Craig Allen. I am the Executive Director for Housing and Fraternity and Sorority Life. Primary focus tonight's going to be on housing, but maybe we'll slip in a fraternity sorority question if we need to.
Sounds good. Hey, just so you know, people are here from all over.
Right.
What I want the rest of you to do who are just tuning in with us, let us know where you're from. Tell us if you're an entering student, if you've been admitted this year, what you're going to study, and definitely submit all of your questions to us via the chat. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on your YouTube. Find the platform that you enjoy most, submit your questions to us, and we'll get to as many of them as we can during this hour. So, okay, we have students and families from Pennsylvania,
All right.
right here in Houston, Texas.
Houston.
We've got families even from Colombia,
Colombia.
and Brazil.
All
Thank you
right.
for joining us. Families from Fort Worth, California, Texas, all over, Colorado, Missouri. This is a great showing, y'all. Super excited to get to all of your questions. So we will spend some time together talking about housing, answering your questions, and we have several giveaways for you this evening. So get ready throughout the session, pay attention, stick around till the end, and we obviously have something special for you, and there will be a special announcement at that time. So keep the questions coming. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do this. Okay, from Instagram, our first question is, this is a low ball for you.
Okay.
Are the dorms air conditioned?
Wow. Air-conditioned dorms. Here in Texas, if you are from perhaps Pennsylvania or maybe up in the mountains of Colorado where it isn't as necessary, you'll be happy to know that yes, our dorms are all air-conditioned, and so we even allow students to set within a range, have thermostats in their own rooms to control the level of their air conditioning in their rooms. So you're going to be cool and comfy on those hot Texas days.
Hot Texas days are
And
kind of a
nights.
theme.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what to expect year-round just as far as climate goes.
As far as the climate, well, today's a great example. We had a little rain, which is, we need it, but not common. You'll have days where a month or two ago where it's 85, almost 90 degrees in the springtime, and then where it's 56 or lower in the springtime as well, like just a couple days ago. So I think the great thing about all the buildings, though, is that heat and air conditioning can run at the same time, in different rooms, different buildings, and so you're going to have all you need for your comfort. But, bring some blankets, bring a sweatshirt just in case.
So one of the challenges that I found when I moved into residence halls was I wanted to pack like my entire wardrobe to come to school. Talk to us a little bit about what kind of space we should expect and how to maybe manage our seasons.
That's a really good question, and I will tell you the short answer to this is that less is more. It is easier to add a few things than it is to get to your room and realize you just don't have space for it and to feel cramped or crowded in your residence hall room. So the rooms perhaps will not be as large as you might be used to in your own home, and most of you are going to be sharing a room with at least one other person. So my advice, less is more. Bring a little less. You can always have things shipped. Amazon delivers right to our campus every day. So you won't wait long if you do need something that you didn't bring with you. And so my advice is always to try and think seasonally and also understand that you're not going to have room for everything that you might have at home.
Craig, you mentioned that some students would be likely sharing a room. We have a question that came in. Are incoming freshmen able to have a single dorm room?
We will this year have some students living in what we would call a private bedroom. That private bedroom may be part of a 2 or 4 bedroom suite. In most instances it would be. So you would share a living space but have your own private bedroom. And that's going to be less than, maybe it might be 12 to 15% of our incoming class. So most students will not have a private bedroom, that most students will be sharing a bedroom. And even if they have a private bedroom, they will be sharing living space with other students.
So when students go through the process of applying to college and they start to think about actually moving away from home, probably one of the hardest pieces for them to wrap their heads around is living with somebody that they don't know.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about how we match students if they don't already know someone, or maybe how the students can get acquainted with one another?
Yeah, that's also a very good question, because I think most students, perhaps many of you tuned in today, while you might be thinking about what do I bring to school, most commonly what students are thinking about, maybe even a little bit nervous about, is who am I going to meet? Who might I live with? Even if I have my own room, who's going to be next door or across the hall? Am I going to make friends? Am I going to fit in? And I think one of the things that we do very well at TCU is that we help students make connections with each other. We help them feel that they fit and they belong. And so we know that that's what they're going through, and as a result, the way we program in the residence halls, the way we match students is to look at how they answer the questions that we've asked on the housing application. And then we use that to help us pick students that we think would be a good match for each other. A lot of our students, perhaps many watching today, are going out and looking on TCU Instagram and trying to meet people in advance. And some students find that successful, but please understand that that is not by any means necessary. Many students will not do that, and then we match them and they do just fine. They're all new to TCU, but they're all frogs. And we're gonna help them have fun, get to know each other, and have a great year.
I love it. I love that everybody comes in to a campus having not experienced it before.
Yeah.
So the normalization of everything's new to everyone definitely
is.
helps break down some of those myths. Okay, Jules asked, if we are interested in a quad or a shared double suite, how do we request 4 roommates?
Okay, this is Jules.
Jules.
Jules, thank you for asking. The answer is you don't. You can pick a roommate. If you want to live in a triple occupancy room, you can choose 2 people, but there are no quads. That's a common folklore, legend, mythology that students pass down. Frog lore.
Frog lore?
Frog lore, is that one of our buzzwords in bingo? Okay, but no, we noticed a couple years ago that students were telling each other, passing down to others, that they should request quads or create groups of 4. And what happened is we have too many of those, and we end up breaking them all apart. It's much easier to take 2 and 2 and put them together for 4 than to have 4 and to try to figure out how to break up all these 4s. So no, you will not be able to request 2 groups of 2. You will not be able to request 3 others as part of a quad. So there are no quads. There are no sharing double baths. We have rooms and halls that have that style, and you will get to meet the people that you share that bathroom with when you get here, and make some new friends. And we're really glad to give you that opportunity.
So I heard you say make up pairs to go together. Don't break up quads because you'll be sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We
the
got it.
goal is we put people together, not break them apart, which is why we don't take groups of 4.
Perfect. Okay, let's talk about what is included for students living on campus? Like, are your utilities and Wi-Fi, laundry? What comes with the package?
All the things.
All the
yes.
things.
Obviously, students are going to have a nice, most students will have a twin XL bed. So when you're getting your bedding, you're going to want the twin extra long. You will have a dresser, typically 3 drawers. In some buildings, it might be 2 drawers, depending on the size of the room and the size of the furniture. You'll have closet, you'll have desk, I said bed, sinks in most of the rooms, not in every hall, but in many, a sink in the room. And that comes pretty standard in every room. Wi-Fi is included. You also have the ability to plug in to an Ethernet connection if you want, but Wi-Fi works really well here. All your utilities, everything is included. This is going to be one of the easiest living experiences in that way because it is all-inclusive.
Awesome. I think that students often wonder if they need to bring things with them like printers and Wi-Fi routers and things like that. Can you talk a little bit to that?
You know, the printer question is an interesting one. I rate that with even televisions. It used to be a time where everybody brought printers and TVs, and students now tend to watch a lot of television on their laptop or on their phone. And so we don't see as many TVs, but if you want to bring one, you can. We have TVs in lounges, so students will often gather and watch television together. Printers, I don't know that maybe 1 in every 3 rooms you might see a printer. So there are opportunities to print when they need to in different locations on campus. I did forget to mention standard in all of our rooms, a microwave refrigerator combo. So if you already have that in your Amazon shopping cart, to get that micro refrigerator to bring or microwave oven to bring with you, please go ahead and take that out of the cart. You don't need it, we provide it.
That's awesome. Okay. And the crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, for the first year halls, what are some of the main differences between them? We know there's some similarities, but there's maybe a different vibe to several of them.
Yeah, I think.
Tell us a little bit about
Sure. The biggest difference between all of our freshman dorms is likely the size and where they might be located. I would say those would be the biggest distinguishing factors. So for example, you could have Clark Hall, pretty central in the middle of campus, home of the Clark Sharks, as they like to call themselves, that's right. A really, really vibrant, active community, tight-knit group every year, seems to be that way, and about 220 students.
Yes.
Very similar to Colby Hall, or Colby difference being Colby all-female, or Shirley Hall, 330 to 350 students. So it's the size and the location where they might be on campus are probably the biggest differences. Milton Daniel is Honors Hall, so for our students in the Honors College. We have Hill and Walsh, new this year, not far from where we are right now, over on the east side of campus. That's new. But I think there are many more similarities in the experience than there are differences. Sometimes students are worried about walking across campus to see friends in another building. What they will quickly learn is campus is just not that big, and that they're all going to be all over the place anyway. So seeing friends from a different building on a different part of campus is a very easy thing to do at TCU. We are not like a much larger institution where you would not easily do that. It's just not the case here.
I noticed that he mentioned some of the volumes of occupancy in some of the first year halls. So while you're entering a first year class of over 2,800 new students,
Right.
you've got a community of just several hundred. That's pretty special.
It is very special, and it's part of why, yes, it's part of what makes us different than a lot of institutions, because even in our larger communities of 350 for first year, those students are going to really get to know each other and become really good friends. And so they will undoubtedly have friends in other buildings, and those friends won't be far away.
Right. And I noticed that a lot of the students who live together their first year retain those tight friendships when they live on campus again for a second year.
I think we see that happening, and oftentimes, roommates we do something, not to share all the orientation excitement but when we talk about roommates, I think what students need to understand coming in, so students, I want you to hear me, roommates are who you're going to be spending time in your room with. And obviously we want you to get along, we want you to have a good experience there. They are not the only people that you will do things with. You will have students that you meet in class, clubs and organizations, a fraternity, a sorority, intramural team, whatever it might be. You're going to meet a lot of different students. And so the roommate relationship is hopefully a good one. But a lot of our students, after a year, they may be friends with their roommate, but they may meet other people that they decide to live with as sophomores and juniors and seniors. I think oftentimes students come in and they place a lot of pressure on themselves that this roommate is going to be their new best friend for the rest of their life. And the reality is that happens for a small percentage of students. It just, for most, it's not going to be that way. Doesn't mean you can't be good friends throughout college, but you're going to meet so many people and make so many other friends after that first semester and first year.
That's so great. And just by the number of people from out of state and those that are from Texas that are on our stream right now, you can tell that the students are coming from everywhere. Of course, you're going to meet new people.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question specifically from, it looks like Ange Price 12.
Okay.
From Instagram. If you were selected for the honors program, but your person who you'd like to live with, your future roommate, was not, if they fill out the exception forms, can they be guaranteed to still be roommates?
That's a very good question. Let's start with...
Congrats on your honors.
Yes, let's start with that.
selection.
Yay, Honors College. I am a huge fan of not just our Honors College, but also our Honors Residence Hall. And so the first thing I would say is that the goal should be that we try to keep you two together and see if we can't get your friend to live with you in the Honors Hall. If space permits, that's what we would do. Depending on how many students are in the Honors Hall and what other students might preference, we could then explore the possibility of moving the two of you to another place. But the goal we should start with is, if you're an honors student, we want you to be in the Honors Hall.
Fantastic. All right, Trahan 3175 asked, can you explain move-in days and what to expect? Y'all, this is a party.
Yeah. We're getting, there's still a lot of time to plan for that, but move-in days, you can expect warm, perhaps muggy. You can expect a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people showing up, and it is, though, a highly orchestrated and coordinated process. We will give you those move-in dates at orientation, and then I actually have on my notes here, so this should be a part of my bingo card. You will get the week of June 22nd, we actually email out to all of our students, returning and new students, what we call your move-in time slot. That move-in time slot will tell you the day and the time for you to come and move in on campus. And so we'll go over that really in detail during orientation, but those dates they're on our website now. I think you can already look and see them to get an idea of the dates, but the actual date and time that you are assigned will be sent to you in June.
This is a well-oiled machine.
It really is.
And when they say date and time, you've got a date and time, and you show up, and this is the busy bees that are so well orchestrated. I love it. All right, we have a question about students who go through the sorority and fraternity recruitment process. I see that the students who go through the process typically move in early, and do we have to decide prior to move-in if we're going to go through that process?
You most certainly need to decide if you want to be a part of the process before move-in. On the housing application now, you can indicate that you're considering it, but fraternity recruitment and sorority recruitment will have registration pages, and you're going to need to go to those registration pages and sign up to go through recruitment for sorority or for fraternity. And you'll want to do that. Most of those are, I don't know that they're open, probably not yet, soon, maybe May, and then they're open throughout the summer. The sorority recruitment typically closes late July. I think the men close about the same time. So you still have time to decide, but you will need to absolutely say if you're going to participate in recruitment prior to showing up on campus.
Absolutely. Just for those who are viewing, we would love for you to continue to drop your questions into the different platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We'll continue to get to as many of these as possible. Okay, they're piling up.
All right, let's go.
Christy McInnes says, how does honors college housing work? I don't know that we know exactly what we would like to define as work, but I guess you get the freedom of choice.
Yeah,
on this one.
it works very well, and I think it works really well because our Dean of Honors, Dr. Pitcock, his staff, our staff that live and work in the residence hall work really well together. And what works about it is it's a phenomenal living experience. It's a super tight community. Students who get to live, study, and play and have a good time together, who are all honors students. And I have had people before say, well, they also want to meet people outside of honors. Again, listen to earlier statements. We are a small campus where students are involved in so many activities. I guarantee, even if you live in Milton Daniel, you're going to meet students who are not in honors. But as far as a living experience, it's just such an exceptional experience, which is why I would hate to take anybody out of it. Dean Pitcock, ultimately, and his staff are the ones who make the determination if if an honors student is exempted from living in the honors hall. That's going to be kind of their decision. They give us all that information. We make those assignments. But they'll all come out at the same time. It's still the same housing application. We work closely with them to make sure that honors students are in the honors hall. And if they have a non-honors roommate, we try to accommodate that when we can.
Fantastic. Switching gears a little bit.
Okay.
Alyssa Avendano, sorry if I mispronounced your name. I think I might have gotten close. Inquires about what transfer residence options are there.
Yeah. Alyssa, is it?
Alyssa.
Alyssa, transfer options are limited. Unfortunately, we are doing a lot of construction. If you come to visit, if you have been here, or if you haven't, when you do get here, you're going to see a lot of construction. We have been growing as an institution slowly, and our new chancellor has a desire for us to grow our undergrad enrollment. And unfortunately, building new buildings takes a little bit of time. We are building them, and we will soon have a lot more opportunity. But right now, on-campus opportunities for transfer students will be limited. You're still welcome to apply. If we can place you on campus, we certainly will. We also have resources for students to look off-campus. We have an off-campus page that you can go to and search properties. There's a roommate finder function, so you have opportunity to go there. And we will do our best to help you when you're here at Transfer Orientation, answer all those questions about housing. But on-campus housing, unfortunately, is limited for our transfer students.
And that's for this year?
For this year, just for this year.
Okay, tell me about, I see a lot of cranes on our campus.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And I'm interested in what they're building and why it's important in this conversation.
Sure. A lot of cranes on campus, and they are building a lot of buildings. We are building right now 3 first-year residence halls located here on the east side of campus. We are building a parking garage. That one is coming along nicely, also on the east side of campus. We are building a 450 suite style sophomore housing building on this side of campus. We are building a 500-bed suite style hall in the Worth Hills part of campus. And then in addition to those, that all total 2,500 beds, there's also a private development that is currently underway just southeast of the bookstore, where a private developer on TCU property is building 780 apartment-style beds. Ooh. All totaled, that's over 3,100 beds coming for TCU students by the summer of 2027. So for your 27-28 school year, if you're coming in part of the class of 2030 or a transfer student, there are going to be so many options for you, so many options for you. And so I apologize, it's going to be a little tight next year, but once we get
good
past
things
next
to
year,
come.
so many great things to come.
That's fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, future frogs, it's time for a giveaway. So here are your instructions. First, we want you to comment your best guess on your platform that you're viewing on, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. We want you to know that if you guess correctly, we will comment back to you. And if you have won, after all is said and done, we need you to email frogmail, that's frog, M-A-I-L, at tcu.edu with your screen name, your full name, and your mailing address so we can send prizes. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Right.
Ooh.
Giveaway number 1. What percentage of undergraduate students live on campus?
Yeah, I think I know this one. But
I hope you know this.
yeah. All right. Are they putting in their guesses? All right.
Yeah,
175 viewers.
Okay.
this is great.
What percent
percentage?
of undergraduate students,
I would love for them all to live on campus.
as would I,
I think they would all love to live on campus.
yes, I think many. There might be a small percentage of the same,
Small
but yeah.
We got it.
All right.
All right.
50%. If you won and you have been notified, please don't forget to send us your information at frogmail.com, and we want your name, your user handle, and your email address. All right. Our next question.
Ooh,
What is the highest point on TCU's campus?
that's probably not counting those cranes, right?
Not counting the crane.
Not counting all the construction cranes. That would have been my first thought.
Higher than the train, meaning identifying lights.
Okay.
Is it the stadium?
Oh,
Is it the student union? We've got some winners, and it is the Robert Carr Chapel. The steeple on the chapel is the highest point
highest point.
at TCU. So if you guessed correctly and we replied to your comment, you are a winner. You're all winners in our world.
That's
But
right.
you won the contest for this moment. If you've won, email frogmail at tcu.edu. Send us your screen name, your full name, your mailing address, and prizes will be coming your way. All right. We have a short commercial break. Enjoy our videos, and we'll be back soon.
Welcome to your home away from home. At TCU, our residence halls are more than just a place to sleep. They're where lifelong friendships are made, late-night study sessions happen, and where you truly become a part of the Horned Frog family. With over 20 residence halls across campus, each one offers something special to make your college experience unforgettable. Did you know? All first and second year students live on campus. And if you're part of the John V. Roach Honors College, Milton Daniel Hall is designed just for you. Located steps from Sadler Hall, where most honors classes take place, and right next to the Campus Rec Center and the Blue, this hall keeps you close to the action. Looking for a tight-knit community? Colby Hall, our female-only residence hall, has everything you need to feel right at home, plus a baking kitchen and theater room for fun nights in with friends. No matter where you live, your room comes with a bed, dresser, closet, desk, chair, and a micro fridge. Depending on your hall, you may have a private or community bathroom, but don't worry, every space is designed for comfort and convenience. Excited for the newest spots on campus? Hill and Walsh Halls are our newest residence halls, located on the east side of campus, right next to most of your classes and steps away from Gutierrez Hall, our newest dining hall. That means fresh food, great company, and a short walk to everything you need. And when it's time to transition to your junior and senior years, we've got you covered. TCU offers a variety of upperclassmen communities like Grand Mark and Liberty Lofts, located just a short walk from campus. These apartment-style options provide more independence while still keeping you close to your classes, friends, and all the action on campus. From first-year experiences to upperclassmen communities, living at TCU is all about making memories, finding your people, and feeling at home. See you soon, future Horned Frogs.
everyone. So glad you're joining us. We have been through, can you believe it, half an hour.
Half an hour, that's
talking with
rapid
our
fire.
executive director, Craig Allen, who is schooling us on all things living on campus
Yeah.
at Texas Christian University. And we've got more to come. So my name is Mandy Castro. For those of us who have not met, I serve TCU as the Assistant Vice Provost and Dean of Admission, and I love having colleagues on this show. Right now, I'm with Craig Allen, and Craig, would you give us your official title?
Sure.
Tell us what you do at TCU.
It's a lot. It's, as titles go, Executive Director for Housing and Fraternity and Sorority Life. Short version of that is I oversee the Housing Department and Fraternity and Sorority Life Department, and we have some just incredible professionals who work in both those departments, and we offer outstanding experiences, and it's my pleasure to get to help them and direct and do whatever executive directing I need to do.
Executive Director.
Yeah.
Right now, we are executive directing us back to
Yeah.
questions that have been rolling in. We've been giving away some prizes. We've had some time together. The community is pitching in with all of their inquiries, and let's dive back in. We have some, like Bianca Castro, who said, what advice would you give incoming first-year students when choosing housing to support their academic success?
I'll tell you, the best advice I would give to students choosing housing to support their academic success is to understand that their housing is not going to define their academic success.
That's a good one.
And let me explain. The housing experience is going to be one that helps them feel supported and cared for. It's going to give them opportunities to meet other students, to make friends, and to know that there are people just like them going through this college experience. That's what their residence hall experience, and all of our residence halls are going to do that. What I can tell the students to do is they have to lean into that experience. Whether they're living in Moncrief or Foster, Clark or Colby, their residence hall is going to give them so many opportunities. Students who choose to hide away in their room or not to go out and participate and meet others are going to struggle in their academic experience and struggle feeling connected and being a part of TCU.
Right.
But students who engage in what is offered in the residence halls, any of the residence halls, are going to have a better experience. We see that this happens to be, in addition to my directing work, I also am a student of higher education and someone who has studied residence halls and residence hall experiences. And I know that the students who are involved and engaged in their residence hall, any residence hall, are going to have a good academic experience. And so my advice is, well, first of all, you don't choose. We are going to assign you, so we can establish that. But secondly, it is to lean into the experience, make the most of the experience, and that will lead to academic success.
Absolutely. Jocelyn kind of touches on something that I think maybe we all don't vocalize, but it's definitely a real part of a college transition. Which resources and support are offered for students who are feeling homesick?
Yeah, I'm also a parent in addition to being an executive director, and I'm parent of now 2 Horned Frog alum and 1 Horned Frog freshman. And I can say that the experience of being here on campus, I've worked on university campuses. My kids have been coming to college campuses since they could walk. And even for them, there's a transition. There's an opportunity or an adjustment period of time. And the same is true of all of our students. Some students seem to adjust really easily, and often those who seem to are still having adjustment issues. They just maybe mask it or hide it pretty well. But all students are going to experience some sort of, this is new, it's a little bit scary, I'm a little anxious. And I think the biggest thing to know is that everybody is in this together, all the other students living around you. So again, it's leaning into the experience. It's going to be a little awkward or uncomfortable at first to go down to a program in your lobby of your residence hall and meet new people. And I get that. It was for my kids too. But the more they did, the more they got involved, the more they got plugged in, the more they felt at home here. And as they felt at home here, that feeling of homesickness fades. And so there are other resources. For students who are really struggling, we have an outstanding counseling and mental health center. They could go there. But in their residence hall, they are going to have an RA, an undergraduate student who's been through it. There'll be RAs in other floors in the building. There's a hall director, a full-time professional person who lives and works in the building. They are also great resources to help students. But it's something that all students go through. For some, it's easier than others, but that's the first thing, is understand it's normal. And then, so as a parent, to remind them this is normal and that they have to just keep at it, and it will change. We do a really good job, I believe, here of helping students get connected.
I think so too. I think that part of what sets TCU apart is this deep level of personal care. And I don't know that there is a place that it is more defined than in the residence halls.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we have a question about shipping large items
Wow.
to campus.
Yeah.
So can they prior to move-in day? And then how do you do it?
Yeah, fortunately I don't. So that's the good news. But our incredible colleagues in our mail center do handle that. And yes, we're going to talk about this a lot more at orientation as well. The easy answer for right now is that yes, there's a date. I don't know this, but I promise I will by orientation. There is a date for which, after which you can start to send things to TCU, and we will store them for you, hold on to them, and then you can come pick them up when you get here. So yes, we can do it. How they do it, it's pretty incredible, because I don't remember the latest count I heard a year or so ago. Might have been 30 or 35,000 packages that arrive. It's
wild.
it's otherworldly number, but they manage it and they do it really, really well.
That would be an interesting stat to
It
track,
would be.
like,
It would be very.
how much Amazon arrives to
Yep.
TCU students every
Try
year?
to ship stuff all together if you can. That
you
would
go.
certainly help the mail center. But we'll have that date for you during the June orientation, so you know when you can start shipping, and we'll give you the address and how to do it.
Craig, are the dorms co-ed?
All of our dorms are co-ed except for Colby Hall.
Okay.
Colby Hall is our all-female hall. Co-ed buildings on our campus take a lot of different forms, though.
Okay.
They come in the form of wings and floors that are all one.
Like divided
All,
between
yep, where you might
sexes?
have, for example, Milton Daniel, the entire first floor. I think I'm right. The entire first floor is all female students.
Okay.
The lower level, what we call the garden level, basement level, is all men. And then on the floors above that, one half is male, the other half female. In Foster Hall, there's a mix. Some are by room, so you might have 2 rooms here that are for female students, 2 rooms for male students,
Okay.
and then it might alternate. Same in Moncrief. Our suite style buildings alternate, could be 2 or 3 suites of men altogether, and then you might have a couple suites of women, and it's different on every floor.
Okay.
But yes, mostly co-ed.
Mostly co-ed. We have a question about the housing application.
Yeah.
And I've kind of saved a couple of these. So if I haven't gotten to your questions yet, please know that we are getting there.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about what the styles of the rooms look like, and where can they find like some video or some
We have on our website, on the housing website, they can see pictures. They can see like a 3D representation of rooms,
Right.
where you can do like a virtual tour of a room. We are partnering with a company that will actually provide photo tours of our rooms as well. That will come out when assignments are released in June, which, by the way, the housing application, since we're talking about it, it opens May 1, so May 1, and
That's
it
for you, Katie.
closes on May 15. And of course, the question that we get when it comes to May 1 or May 15, what happens if you apply on May 15? Are you going to get something worse or better, or how does that impact what you get? The answer is it doesn't. So whether you apply on May 1st, whether you're the first person or the very last person before it closes, that has no bearing on your assignment. And the application, you can even change what you preference when you go in. You can have a preference on May 2nd, and then on May 10th, you could change it if you want to. So you can go in and out as many times as you like between May 1 and May 15, but definitely get it done by May 15.
Great.
And then
So that's the final opportunity for you to request your roommate.
final opportunity for roommate requests, and then building requests are done by typology, sort of,
Okay.
what we call. So you'll have Colby will be a standalone, Milton Daniel for honors is a standalone, and then you have Clark, Shirley, and Hill and Walsh are grouped together. They are pretty traditional double rooms, community style bathrooms. And you have Moncrief, Foster, and Waits are grouped together. They are traditional double rooms, but they have shared baths, meaning you have a couple rooms, share a bath. Foster and Waits also have some community bathrooms in addition to that, but those three are grouped together. And then you have what we would call our suite style. That's the Commons, Samuelson, Carter, King, and Wright, and P.E. Clark, where you would have students living in a suite where there's a small living space and bathrooms all enclosed in that suite.
Right, right. So lots of different options.
Lot of
I know
options.
it's overwhelming, and he just mentioned a half dozen or more of those, like with pods together. So go on to our housing.tcu.edu
Yeah.
site, take a look around, familiarize yourself with the different formats so that you can reference whatever it is that you are most inclined to like and live in.
Yep.
We have students, just so you know, I see lots of questions coming through about how to find roommates and how to connect with one another. We've got a great resource for that. We have sent you a link, if you have deposited and made your commitment to TCU, we have sent you a link to Bright Crowd, and there is a closed circuit of admitted, enrolled TCU students for you to meet one another, connect with, get to know one another, and that might be a great source for you as you're trying to navigate this find a friend who's also going to TCU process. Okay, we have more questions that have come in. How do you request an accommodation when you have a chronic illness that requires restrooms?
Sure. First of all of our buildings will have restrooms, so you're going to have that, and they are all private restrooms. Just like at your house, you will walk out of your bedroom or living room or wherever, go to a restroom, shut a door, lock it, and then you have your own private space. And that's true in every residence hall that we operate. So completely private restrooms, all halls. Some happen to be in a suite, some might be down the corridor 30 feet, some might be shared between two rooms. But everybody is going to have the opportunity to go to a private restroom, shut a door, lock it, have their own private restroom. However, for specific accommodations, you need to go through our Student Access and Accommodations office. They will evaluate and review and see if there is some need for an accommodation. And then if there is, they will tell us, the housing office, they will say, this is what the student needs, and then we will decide where you are assigned. It's important to know that an accommodation does not mean that you pick a building. It means that we know what your need is, and then we assign you in a place that meets that need.
Okay, I'm going to rattle off a couple of these questions that are very similar.
Okay.
So Scott Taylor, Shepard Martin, and Heritage Real Estate Mejia. I'm clumping these all together because y'all are asking some very similar things. How do you request a roommate if you've already met someone, and what happens on May 1st? So that's one piece of it. Another similar question is, any tips on the proper way to request a specific roommate? So I think they're wanting to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty on, like, what does that look like to request someone? Is it pretty self-explanatory on the housing application? And then how detailed is that roommate questionnaire?
So let me start with the roommate questionnaire. The roommate questionnaire is, oh geez, I don't remember exactly how many questions. I think it's about 8 or 10 questions. Things like, you know, do you smoke? Do you not smoke? We ask some basic things. Do you like to have people over as visitors or not? And then I think some of them are yes, no. Some of them are on a scale of 1 to 5. I like lots of visitors. I want very few visitors. And then you kind of rank it between a 1 to 5. And we use that to help us match people. And there are other questions on there in addition to that. Our matching tends to go pretty well, as long as people are honest and as long as the students are filling it out and not parents filling it out. we do really well with that. Students can request a roommate. There will be an opportunity in the application where they can go and search for a friend. So if I know that my friend Steve is coming to TCU and we're both deposited, right? We've deposited and we're ready to go and we're filling out our application, then we will be able to see that each other is applying and then we can list each other.
Great.
And I would need to list Steve as a roommate. He would need to list me. We know it's mutual. And then we're good to go.
Great.
Success rate with that, done within that May 1 to 15 time frame, is very, very high. And so students can do that. They can also go in and change that. Now, sometimes they don't always.
So if you don't like Steve anymore,
Right, if
you can break up with
something
Steve.
changes, yeah, please tell
Great.
Steve. Don't make us be the ones to break that news to him, but which does happen, unfortunately. But
So you really broke up with Steve's mom.
well, that might be what happened.
Okay.
But it's not terribly complicated. If students, as you get into the housing portal and you're filling that out, if you get stuck, call our office. We have students that will answer and talk you through it. But it's a pretty self-explanatory. I find that students tend to navigate it a lot easier than I can.
Correct.
I mean,
They do with all the things.
yeah, I don't know. For me, sometimes I don't know where to click. They seem to be able to get it pretty intuitively. And yes, they can request that roommate anytime between May 1 and May 15.
That's awesome.
But I do want to stress again the importance of understanding that meeting somebody on Facebook and looking at some of their profile pictures and deciding, or not Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it might be, and deciding, oh, I think we're going to be great friends, is sometimes a stretch. And so I really want to caution people, for every student that I meet that we placed with another person who ends up having some roommate difficulty, I might meet 2 that did it themselves. Oh. And so I just think it's really important to know that simply looking at some pictures and deciding we're going to be great roommates doesn't mean that that's the case. Now, the good news is this. When students come together, what we're going to do is try to help them understand what does make for good roommates, and that is talking to each other, setting some basic ground rules about how you want to live in that space together. And if they do that, then it won't really much matter if we placed you with someone or if you found them yourself. You're more likely going to have a good experience. But communication is required, and there is no one silver, if you do it this way or that way, you're going to have a better experience.
Great. I know that sometimes Craig and Steve think they're going to be besties, and then they discover that life living together is a lot harder. How flexible is the housing system when you run into some hiccups?
So if Steve and I end up as roommates, and by October, I've decided that I just can't handle it anymore because he's constantly drinking my Diet Cokes and eating my goldfish crackers, and he never asks first. And of course, that would be reason for...
That's a throwdown.
Right, that's a throwdown. But in all seriousness, it's usually little things that we didn't talk about. And students get to a point where maybe they say, this just isn't a good environment for me. I don't... My parents now know, and they call and they say, you've got to move Steve out. Well, first of all, we're not going to move the other person out. If you want to move because you're not happy, we're going to move you if we have availability.
Right.
We have very little availability in the fall semester to move people. So more likely scenario is we want to try to start early if there is some conflict and try to help students learn how to navigate that and work it out. And they can still ask for a room change, but we will not have much available to make room changes happen unless there are instances of 2 students that agree to switch.
Okay, that's helpful. I think that a lot of students are interested in working in the residence halls.
That's great.
I have heard, and for those who weren't at one of our admitted student days, we just recently held one and got to go through the residence halls. And I heard a first-year student talking about a CA position.
Yeah.
And then I know some have served as RAs. These are all abbreviated terms. Can you maybe walk us through what some of the student workers look like that work in the halls?
Yeah. We have, those are our 2 biggest positions, community assistants, or CA. They work at our front desks and serve as kind of a customer service and community greeter, if you will. It's an active job. It is not you just sit there and do nothing. And then we have resident assistants. They are living on the floor, and they play a bigger role in helping students get to know each other, whether it's with programming. They may help them try to learn how to set rules and navigate the roommate experience. So those are two of the positions, and we have hundreds of those positions on campus.
Great.
There are a lot of opportunities for work on campus.
There's a question that kind of dovetails off that. Can first-year students work as some of those positions? I think you said the CA?
First-year student can work as a community assistant, a CA, yes. Students have to complete at least 1 year here or somewhere before they can apply for the resident assistant position.
Talk to me about the security. You said that the CAs and RAs kind of keep up with who's coming and going?
They do, but students have to now use their phone and scan, and in you go into your building. But yes, there's someone at that desk typically from noon to midnight, and then on weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, actually until 3 in the morning. And that helps with security, but and the RAs do rounds. They will walk around the buildings at night a couple times. But the primary way that we do safety and security on our campus is by having really tight, strong-knit communities, much like the neighborhood you live in. When people up and down the street all know each other, they know, hey, did you see the Jones didn't put their garage door down? We should give them a call, right? They look out for each other. Same thing happens in a college residence hall. Students look out for each other. They see somebody roaming around trying to go into a room they know doesn't live in that room. They say something, they let us know, or they go and they check in on their friend, or whatever the case may be. Now, there are not random people walking through our buildings. That would be a very, very rare, if ever, that I know of occurrence. But the way that we look out for each other in our living together is how we keep the buildings safe.
That's great. Okay, I have a couple of rapid fire questions
Rapid fire,
for you.
right?
Then we're
Okay.
moving on to some giveaways.
Let's do, okay.
Okay. Who's responsible for cleaning the restrooms?
We have housekeeping staff that clean all the community-style restrooms. Community style, we clean them. Private bathrooms, students clean.
What is the difference between a parent orientation and student orientation?
Oh, parent orientation, we're going to talk to you parents about all the things that we think you want to know about. Students, mostly the same information, slightly different delivery.
Are there curfews at the dorms?
There are no curfews at our dorms.
No curfews.
Sorry,
at the
Mom and Dad.
dorms. All right. How do Mom and Dad get a hold of their children?
That beats the heck out of me. If you can figure that out, please tell me. I can't get a hold of mine. No, I mean, most parents now communicate via this. If you really need us to go and check in on a student, we can do that. We have a hall front desk phone number. We have TCU police is how you would do that.
Fantastic. Parents, there's lots of resources for you. You'll learn all about them at orientation. We're excited to welcome you into the Frog family as well. Let's move on to our next giveaways. Remember, if you were with us for the last ones, we are going to ask you a question, and you need to comment your best guess on the platform in which you're viewing, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Once you've guessed correctly, and we reply to your comment, if you are the first, then you are a winner. And at that time, we will ask you to email us at frogmail@tcu.edu. And with that, we would like you to include your screen name, your full name, and your mailing address so we can send a prize to you. All right. Our question is, what percentage of graduates are employed or continuing education within 6 months? Do you know this one?
I do not, but I think an inkling as to what it might be.
The parents are really interested in this because this equals off the payroll. Right? All right.
Let's see how close I am. Not yet.
Any questions?
Okay.
No winners?
We got one.
We've got a winner.
There it is.
96% of our students are either employed or admitted to their graduate school programs within 6 months of graduation. These are outstanding outcomes, y'all. There's a reason to be here in Fort Worth. There's a reason to be at Texas Christian University. All right, our next question.
This is a good one.
Where does TCU rank for happiest students? Happiness is a construct.
It is. It's a construct. Our students do well.
Our students are so happy. All right, do we have winners?
All right.
We have winners.
Numero
Horned
uno.
frogs are number one. You can get used to this. You can also make a Q and curl it down and make your frog.
Yes,
and then make
please
them number
curl
one.
that all the way down now.
All right. So your winners have been notified. Please don't forget to email us frogmail@tcu.edu, your handle, your name, and your mailing address. We will send prizes your way. Okay, for the remaining few minutes, I want to talk a little bit about some important dates and reminders for you. We are quickly coming up on May 1st, and May 1st is the national candidate reply date for first year admission. We want you to make sure that you are prepared for your housing applications. We want to make sure that you are prepared for orientation, to sign up for Frog Camp, to meet your new best friends, and all of that happens when you pay a deposit to reserve your spot at TCU. We will leave that application, the commitment deposit site, which is your my.tcu.edu website. Your portal is available at any time of day and night. Once you submit that, you will have your orientation and Frog Camp opportunities unlocked. You can go ahead and register for those. On May 1st, we will notify you that the housing application has gone live.
Yep.
So the housing application will be open for the 15 days. You heard Craig say that you could submit it
Anytime.
more than one time. So you can change your mind. You can alter your answers.
Yeah.
All of that is okay. You've got that window. Then they're going to close it down and they're going to work on assignments.
Correct.
And that is a critical time for their office to be able to work on placing our students throughout our community. We want you to be first in line for all of that and do so by submitting your commitment deposit. Okay, on June 1st, we have our final deadline for our transfer applicants. They run a little bit different cycle than our first year students. Many of them are in school right now. They're going to finish out their classes in May, and they're going to submit applications. They have a deadline of June 1st. Transfer students, it would be best for you to submit your applications now so we can get you admitted by that time, so you too are ready for any of the next steps, including orientation and Frog Camp and advising. We know you all want to know how your classes are going to stack up in your path to graduation.
Could I add one that happens right
Please.
around then too? The week of June 1st, likely later in that week, is when housing assignments will be published to the housing portal, and you'll be able to go in and see your assignment. So it won't be long after it closes that you'll be able to see where your assignment is for next year for housing.
That's fantastic. So there's lots of moving parts that are contingent on you. I know that the college admission piece is overwhelming sometimes, but the decision is so sweet whenever you make it. And TCU is a fantastic spot for your next 4 years. We're excited about all of the change that's happening on campus. We're excited about new residence halls. We're excited about new spaces for our students. We're excited about the community that we build, our athletic championships that we're about to win. This is a place that is, it's electric. And then the great part about being in a space like we're in is living in Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth is a community that is bringing entrepreneurial spirit. We're bringing in the World Cup. Will be played out of
Just down the street.
Just down the street. We've got so much that's going on here, and students, we don't want you to miss any part of this. And we want you to be a part of the outcomes. We want you to be a part of the 96% that's employed or in grad school upon graduation. So don't forget to do the things that are necessary to get you from point A to point B. Senior years are crazy. Everything is busy. Prom's coming around the corner. You can take care of these things today. Any additional questions that you may have, please send an email to us, frogmail@tcu.edu. I've mentioned that several times. We want you to reach out to us with any questions, concerns that you may have. Check up on your application at any time. Visit our housing website.
Yes.
Look at those room tours. Take a look, familiarize yourself with what you might be interested in the way of student housing. And then for committed students, check your email for the Bright Crowd invitation so you too can connect with future Horned Frogs. We have one last.
One last.
Can you believe we've rounded out an hour?
Wow, that went fast.
One last special announcement. Okay, for the students who have been admitted this year and have not yet deposited, we are giving away 2 pairs of Justin boots, 1 ladies, 1 gentleman's, and if you deposit between now and Friday, we will announce our lucky winners, and you don't want to be in Fort Worth without the right boots.
You got to get your
So
boots.
this is a great opportunity for you to make your Fort Worth staple. Look,
Okay, look at this.
Purple hat.
Here we go.
here we go.
All right,
Bring your boots.
get your boots.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. We're so excited for you to join our family. We know we've got a great place for you. We've got a team of people that are waiting to welcome you. And we're excited to announce our winners here in the next couple of days. You've been through a lot. So have we. With that, we sign off. Go Frogs.
Go Frogs.